All unsuccessful. Prospector limit engaged. Programming limit current. Programming limit current. Programming limit current. Unsuccessful. Prospector limpet engaged. Flight assist off. Prospector limpet engaged. Flight assist on. Prospector limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Prospector limpet engaged.
Hello. Hello. I'm gonna give up on this ice field soon. I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Actually, I'm gonna go back to Delcar. Oh, hang on.
Programming limit drone. Programming limit drone. Programming
I don't know if you're watching this ice field here, but it's a pain in the ass. Would you like a chunk of crystal? Or perhaps you'd like to be turned into a chunk of crystal. Hey, Squaddle, are you there? Oh! Oh no. Now we're in deep, deep trouble. Here, let's have one of these and fire. Hook! Nope. Nope. We'll try this one. Aha! No. Let's try this one over here. There's so many rocks. And now?
Prospector limpet engaged.
No. No, we'll try again. Over here. Yes.
Prospector limpet engaged.
No. How about this one? That one's medium. I'd like a nice high one though. Here, this one looks high.
Prospector limpet engaged. Prospector limpet engaged.
Nope. have to settle for medium. Or we could just leave. Or we hit 100.
Prospector lipid engaged.
There's a medium. That one does look promising. I have a good feeling about it. Here, let's go here.
What the hell are you doing?
Hey?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm making a mess of things.
Oh, same old shit, different day then.
Yep, where the hell have you been?
Oh, I decided to take myself out for Father's Day supper. I had to drag the wife and kids along with, so.
Alright then. Well, Spike invited me back into the wing, so here we are.
That was nice of Spike.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cloud of asteroid debris headed towards me. Wonder how that happened. Oh, it depleted the asteroid. Shouldn't the asteroid fall apart or something if... Okay, so I'm only 60 kilometers away from this high zone, and I'm still not seeing a lot of rich mineral deposits. And this system is supposed to be pristine, so... I guess I could just head directly there. I go finish off the last 40 kilometers and then be there 20 kilometers out, which was, I believe you said, was the ideal distance. This bromelite mining fragment. I think we're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna go this way. Let me just have a look here. Ooh, we have a nice collection of osmium. Lots of hydrogen peroxide for all those injuries you can get. I only have one gallite. I dumped the rest, my fragments, because I wasn't seeing any more gallite. Okay. What do we got left here in this? We have a sulfur deposit. And not much else is going on here. Okay, that's it. Move it.
Cargo skill
finished the first 20 kilometers. Now range 40 kilometers in closing. One limpet left. 15 kilometers to go. Not scanning anything on the long-range scope. It's got lots of rocks and ice. Disabled logarithmic sensor scans so we get a more accurate picture of the battlefield to come. 25 kilometers and closing. Approaching the 20-kilometer limit, 19.8 and falling. Okay. Prospector limpet armed. We're at 16.8 kilometers. A human target has been sighted visually. It is not on the sensors.
Spotted a human target not on sensors.
Well, it's a target. I'm not sure if it's human or NPC, but it's some kind of player target doing mining operations.
They must have some really, really, really good silent running gear.
I honestly don't know if we're going to connect or not. It's 3.5 kilometers. Prospector limpet reports low mineral content. A hostile has appeared. It is a pirate. They're getting close.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Target is low. This is not looking very favorable at the moment.
Prospector limpet engaged. Prospector limpet engaged.
This is not looking good at all.
Programming limit current.
All I'm getting are low yield asteroids.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Another one.
Programming limit current.
Come on.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Located a medium. And we'll move in closer.
Programming limit current. Programming limit current. Programming limit current. Deploy cargo hatch. Cargo scoop deployed.
This is yielding more metals.
What do you think of the mining? Starting to enjoy it or what?
It's okay. I can see where it's going to grow tedious fairly soon. We'll be back to trading again, but it is more exciting in trading. But trading is still yielding the largest amounts of money, and they have to do something about making money a little bit more accessible and fixing some of the bugs, like the rhenium bug. It's obviously been deallocated way too much.
God damn, I'm gonna get fucking interdicted. I can't jump into any system without getting interdicted. No way. Carrying 100 tons of fucking valuable shit. No wonder.
Programming limit current.
Oh, we found another one. It's inside the 20 kilometer ring. You're being interdicted.
Yep.
Flight assist off.
Come on.
Prospector limpet engaged. Flight assist on.
Hostiles approaching. threat clean from regulatory state of Yoruba. We are 19.4 kilometers from the center of the high extraction zone. Target is now 6.07 kilometers away. Moving in a different direction. Prospector ready. Firing. Prospector away. 1 kilometer.
Prospector limit engaged.
Target is low.
Flight assist off. Prospector limit engaged.
Target low.
Flight assist on.
16.4. Pirate threat now in range.
Prospector limit engaged.
Target low. Veering away. Limpet being programmed and limpet away.
engaged.
Target is low.
Holy shit, I had about 8 Allied police ships show up shortly after I got interdicted. Not used to having that much backup.
Yeah, you don't really need it either.
Prospect limpet engaged.
Don't, but you sure died fast.
Yeah, I would imagine. Limpet, away.
Prospect limpet engaged.
Medium target located. Lithium hydroxide is indicated as present.
Scan detected.
We are being scanned. We are under attack. Why is... Why is the mining laser active? I don't understand.
Scan detected. Scan detected. Target shields online. Under attack. Target shields offline.
Multiple hostile ships in this sector, Commander. Let's not throw them all on us at once.
Aw, shit!
Multiple hull impacts detected.
Leaving the scene of battle. %.
Shields are down. I need covering fire.
We abandoned the scene of battle. Laying in a course to Sikowski Station for replenishment and repair. Shields reassembled. Fighter being rebuilt. %90 complete. Fighter is rebuilt. Diamondback Explorer.
Copy. Deploying the fighter.
Under attack.
SOS is online. Standing by.
What the hell is going on here?
Scan detected.
I'm out of missile ammo.
Target shields offline.
Threat eliminated. Patrolling for enemy. I think we're in the clear, Commander.
Recall.
Commencing recovery, Commander. Stand by.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Sikowski station targeted. Ready for jump. Docking Galed.
Retrieval complete. Fighter base secure.
Frameshift drive charging. 3, 2, 1.
comply with STARCOM regulations at all times.
Docking at Sikorsky Station.
Access granted. Head directly to Docking Bay 39er. Auto-docking sequence.
This is an important STARCOM announcement. Acts of aggression will be met with the appropriate force.
Commander Silk Ra is present.
400 meters from touchdown.
I don't really know who that is, but we'll say hello to them.
Contact confirmation.
Taking
Battlestream
message.
engaged.
Greeting the commander.
STARCOM would like to remind all pilots to avoid blocking access to docking pads during arrival and departure.
28,000 credits worth of damage to the ship. With 13 units of hydrogen peroxide. Sold. 8 units of liquid oxygen. Sold. Six units of osmium. Sold. 3 units of gold. Three units of bromolite. Negative. Sold for less here. 1 unit of gallite sold. Lepidolite. 6 units sold. Lithium hydroxide. Negative, it is lower than average. Methane clathrate. 6 units sold. Methanol monohydrate, negative, less than average. Uranite, 1 unit sold. Our load is now lighter. We are carrying several high-value commodities. Laying in a course using a galaxy map. Back to the Delcar system. Oh, someone's in Leasty. Is that you, Squaddle?
Yeah. Buying Latvian brandy.
Oh, sorry, you're in Lave. Okay. Instead of heading for Delcar, then I'll head for a closer system. We will head for BD 193629A. Laying in course. Course laid in. Course complete. 4 jumps. I just want to check and see what the specialty of this system is. It is an industrial system. Negative. It is an agriculture system. There are a couple of refinery systems nearby. I'm not seeing anything extraction related. There's colony, agriculture, lots of agriculture. Lalonde 22954 is an extraction economy. It's in a boom right now. We'll head there first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. And we have 1 mission we have to complete. Checking mission status. It's rescue the escape pod. Okay. We have to switch out in outfitting. We have to switch in replacing the 3A collector limpet. For a fuel scoop. 4A. Transfer to ship. Transfer complete. Maximum jump distance now set to 26.97 unaided. With current load. Total mass currently 1,829.3 metric tons. Checking. Verified. Launching.
Landing clock disengaged. To mail in when ready.
Radio retracted.
engines to full.
Frameshift drive charging.
Your way is clear. Safe travels, Commander.
White Star 1.
Warning. Temperature critical. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Heat sink deployed. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive charging.
FSD charging. White Dwarf had an extremely short particle fountain. Second of 3 White Dwarfs.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
LHS 304.
Frameshift drive charging.
FSD charge underway. third and final white dwarf in jump series. Fourth jump of 5 total.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Sorry, fourth jump of 5 is to the Charoo sector, Hotel Romeo Whiskey, Charlie 1-24. Distance 35.2 light years. Executing jump in 3, 2, 1.
Frameshift drive charging.
Milan 22954 has low security. It's become dominated by a hostile power. 12.1 light years. Jump executed.
Fuel switch disengaged.
I hit a building.
How the hell did you hit a building?
I don't know, my autopilot didn't land the craft properly, and I hit a building at a planet's surface port.
I think they're gonna jump out in front of you.
No, I don't really... It all happened, of course, in the Lalande 22954 system. It's a binary star system, 2 orange K-type stars close to one another. All planets in the system orbit both stars, like Tatooine. Except Tatooine, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but the sunsets scenes that they show on Tatooine, the stars never cross in front of one another like they would in a real star system. They're always next to one another. It's like, how the hell does Tatooine orbit 2 suns and somehow they're both always next to each other? Some kind of weird orbital tidal lock where the suns are always in the exact same position in the sky? Anyway. Hey! Are you aware that you... Jesus Christ, there's no commodity trading at this port. That's stupid. Here, let's try again. At least we were fueled, but not very happy about that. And there's only one large settlement here where you can land your large ship. Oh, that's neat. Seems that there's a 3rd star in the system, way off somewhere. Lalande 22954C. Well, you're not going to have a lot of trade with a system that doesn't allow for commodities to be traded. Now, are you? Okay, so... more extraction economics. Bombelli's Folly. Bombelli is a blundering idiot. But it does have commodities, so we'll go there. Okay. It's 9 light years away.
So what is Spike doing? Is he taking a nap on us or what?
I don't know, he doesn't say very much, does he?
Yeah, I just kind of wondered. Been in the same system for quite a while.
I think he said something about his girlfriend and doing something... something unspeakable with her.
Well, then I probably don't want to know if it's unspeakable.
That is sort of the definition of unspeakable. That's okay, he can watch us talk about him later in my recording. He likes to watch them over and over again.
Probably gets a kick of how you have such a tendency to make everything harder than it has to be.
That must be it. Because things can always be a little harder. And my objective in life is to find out how hard they can be. Okay. Engaging our drive system out of this useless star system, which of course features prominently in the Lalonde catalog of star systems. Remind me not to turn to French astronomers when it comes time to rate star systems. I think I might get... I might get to meet an astronaut for my birthday.
Yep. Tell Jed's I'm gonna take him out and play fetch. Why do you want to meet an astronomical nut?
Well, because she is one of a handful of Canadian female astronauts. There's not very many of them. Of course, Canada and NASA are partnered together. Our scientists go to your space station and help you run it. Otherwise, it would surely fall out of orbit.
Well, we just feel bad that you guys can't afford to build your own.
Well, no, we can't, and there's a good reason for that. There aren't enough people here to afford a space shuttle program of our own. Although Elon Musk might sell us one of his capsules and then we can launch our own. They are putting, you know what? They are putting a launch facility in Halifax, Nova Scotia, so we will actually have a spaceport soon. But Canada's unlucky. It costs a lot more money to launch things from the northern hemispheres than it does the closer you get to the equator, because the Earth spins faster at the equator. You get a little boost to your ascent momentum.
That sounds like a load of baloney.
Yeah, well, you try launching a rocket at the North Pole and just see how fast it goes compared with this rocket exerting the same thrust at the equator, and you find out that
there's more gravity at the equator too, though.
no, there isn't. It's a constant.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
You check into that.
The planet is actually balloons out around the equator.
Yeah, but the planet-wide gravity is still, I mean, it's there is a variance. Yeah, there's variances between high and low sea level too. You have actually got more gravity in South Dakota than I do closer to sea level here in the east. But it's
No, we have less gravity.
No, you have more because there's more matter.
We're farther away from the planet's core.
There's more matter.
Higher elevation,
Doesn't matter. That doesn't
higher
matter.
elevation has less gravity.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter how high you climb. All that matters with gravity is how much mass there is, and if you have more mass, there's more gravity. It's that simple.
So if you're farther away from the center of that gravitation,
Doesn't matter.
it has less attraction.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you.
Yes, it does.
Okay, you can believe whatever you want, but it doesn't matter.
I do believe whatever I want.
It's high school physics. Yeah, and the American education system is suffering for this exact reason. You guys fill your heads with all sorts of irrelevant chatterbox BS, You listen to Republicans, and you believe that God created the earth in 6 days too, on top of everything else.
Well, you don't?
Oh, I shouldn't sing the praises of Canadian school system too much, because it actually is quite variable from province to province, but the United States has a national school system, so all deficiencies get transported nationally, unfortunately.
Well, you're just jealous because we got the Kardashians.
Yeah. No, we don't have to be too jealous. There's plenty of Canadian actors running Hollywood.
The Kardashians aren't even actors.
No, they're not even really... Are they even people? I guess they are, but...
Most of us still haven't figured out what the fuck they are, which is find them extremely annoying.
They're an anomaly. Just like Elite will have anomalies soon, so are the Kardashians. Ooh, it's an Alliance planet-side base. Actually, you're technically correct. A lower center of gravity does make a difference in terms of force applied, but it's a diminishing law of diminishing returns, because the more you stack matter on top of one another, it's not like the center of gravity wins out in the end. If there's no mass at the core, if it's hollow, then it's not going to make any difference. Imagine a Dyson sphere, right? It's a sphere.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
A Dyson sphere is a giant.
Is that a vacuum cleaner?
It's a mega. It's a what the hell's the word of it? It's a mega structure. So it goes around the star. You build it around a star in a star system. And it's a shell that goes around the entire star 360 by 360 degrees at about Earth's orbit around. Say you had the sun, we'd build the structure in Earth's orbit basically to allow for equal distribution of the heat from the sun, from the radiation, to land nicely on the surface of the structure.
Sounds like one of them theoretical things that have not been built yet.
No.
We don't know if it would really work or not.
No, but they thought they might have spotted one in a neighboring star system a couple of years ago because they couldn't account for an anomaly in some of the observational data in a star system that was close to Earth, and speculation had it could have been an alien megastructure like a Dyson sphere. Anyway, but even if they don't exist, in theory the idea is sound. You can harness all the available energy from the star at the center of the star system out to 1 AU, which is Earth orbit distance around the sun. And the other advantage you get, in addition to limitless energy from the central star, you also get the advantage of having a massive surface area. The surface area of the interior of a Dyson sphere out to 1 AU would be many thousands of times the surface area of the world shaped as it is as a sphere right now. So if we dismantled Earth, in other words, in order to build a Dyson sphere, we would be actually building a much more efficient structure. Although I don't think technically we could actually build it.
Except for when that microscopic piece of asteroid comes flying through and
hits it?
Velocity, it punctures the...
Okay, here's where the gravity part...
The shell and destroy everything.
Here's where the gravity part comes in. The way that this thing gets built is you build a lattice first, right? And then material from the star, including little bits of rock and debris, aggregate over many, many millennia on the interior surface, so that over time, different parts of the sphere start to accrete this material that's being ejected from the star. It's called stellar ejecta. And so you don't actually have to take the whole planet. You take the whole planet apart, yes, but you don't actually need all the rock that the planet is made out of to create the Dyson sphere, because you just need to build the lattice. The star fills in all the empty spaces in the lattice over time. And after a certain point, that shell becomes so hard and so dense that it actually amasses 1G on the interior side. Now notice that a Dyson sphere is hollow. It doesn't have a lot of mass. You can still float in the sky without any gravity whatsoever after a certain height. Well, you'll fall very slowly back to the surface of the Dyson sphere on the interior side, but suffice to say, you're still going to be 93 million miles away from the star at every point within the Dyson sphere.
Sounds a little bit too theoretical for me.
But the point is that gravity, as such, would be generated by the Dyson sphere itself, not all the space somehow between the Dyson sphere and the sun. That doesn't generate any gravity at all. You need mass in order to generate gravity. So the more you stack matter on top, one on top of the other layer, the more gravity you have. And it actually accretes gravity more quickly, closer to your center, depending on how dense it is, obviously. Now, at the center of the Earth, yes, you do have a very dense iron core. So there's going to be a layer of liquid magma, and then at the very center, you're going to have a very dense form of iron. They think, around which
the operative word.
That's right. Around, well, not, it's a pretty good educated guess, because the magma itself, the Earth also has a magnetic field. It doesn't come from nowhere. The magnetic field is the result of the magma operating in a magnetic fashion around this iron core. And if you take a strand of copper wire and you string it around an iron core, what do you get? A magnet. Ergo, electromagnetic field. Ergo, there's evidence, circumstantial evidence, that shows that the Earth's core is in fact largely iron.
Requires a little more to make a magnet than wrapping copper around.
No, I know. I'm just trying to get your mind into the picture, into the vicinity of what I'm talking about. So this is why I'm saying that there'll be more gravity, because the incremental difference, that you're 400 meters higher roughly over sea level from me. But the amount of distance that we are away from the core of the Earth is not significant, and you do have a lot more matter around you than I do. So the gravity should be slightly higher where you are.
No, it's been scientifically proven not to be that way.
Like to see the documentation on that.
Why does air get thinner the higher in the elevation you get? Because the air is attracted to the planet just the same as everything else, by gravity.
By gravity, yes.
Higher elevations have thinner atmospheres.
Yeah, the air definitely accretes in the lower valleys and areas closer to the core. It's a fluid, it's a gas. It tries to occupy all the available space it can closest to the center of gravity, which will be the core of the Earth, obviously. But that isn't evidence, that isn't somehow evidence that matter doesn't stack, or that there's not gravity in solid form still exerting a force at 400 meters above sea level. It very much does. There's a lot of matter. The only way to really measure this, I think, is probably something like a pendulum, to see how much acceleration force, or trying to think of an experiment that would work. Unfortunately, air resistance gives you terminal velocity at a certain altitude, so it doesn't really help you. Ah, yes, good. Oh. Holy shit. Well, that was stupid. The extraction economy actually hurt me. Okay, we'll go to an industrial center then. They use these materials. That would make sense, I guess. Computer, show me the galaxy. Go back to our homeworld. Our makeshift homeworld. 2 jumps, course laid in. Launching. First jump is to Ross 697, 23.3 light years away.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
Bugger off! Oh my god. Bugger off, I said, you miserable cunt.
Gravitational force above the Earth's surface is proportional to 1 divided by r squared.
That's right.
R is your distance from the center of the Earth.
Right.
The radius of the Earth at the equator is 6,378 kilometers.
Correct.
So let's say we're on a mountain at the equator that was 5 kilometers high, around 16,400 feet. You would then be 6,383 kilometers from the Earth's center, and the gravitational force would have decreased by a factor of 6,378 divided by 6,383 squared equals 0.9984. So the difference is less than 0.2%.
Right.
So with elevation, you do have less gravitational.
I didn't argue that point. That isn't the point I'm arguing. The point I'm arguing is that argument that point doesn't take into account the mass of the mountain that you're standing on, which you also have to calculate. Because all they're doing is just taking the raw elevation number. There's still the mountain itself.
First there's the variation of the gravity with latitude that you alluded to. You weigh about 0.5% more at the poles than on the equator. There are 2 effects that contribute to this, and they are discussed in more detail in previous questions. It should be noted, however, that only one of these effects is due to the actual difference in the gravitational force between the equator and the poles. The other effect is due to the fact that the Earth is spinning, which affects the weight you would see when you stepped on a scale, but does not actually represent a change in the value of the gravitational force. Basically, I'm reading a Q&A off of Cornell University's website.
Yeah, but again, they're not taking into account the mass of the mountain. There's still matter inside the mountain.
They just took for account the difference in mass around the equator. Across the equator, the planet is actually wider than it is dimension between the 2 poles.
Correct. And there is a variance in gravity because of that. That's true.
They said the farther away from the core of the planet you get, regardless of mass, the less gravity.
Where did they say that explicitly, regardless of mass? I don't think they did. I think you're reading into it. They didn't say regardless of mass. They wouldn't say that. That's not physically accurate.
At the equator, there is more mass between the surface and the center of the planet versus the North or South Pole in the center of the planet.
There is? What's the difference? Yeah. How much?
Hell, if I remember, I learned that like 25 years ago.
Okay, well that's possible. I give you that. That's very
The
possible.
planet spins. The centrifugal force actually increases the diameter at the equator.
Okay, there's part of the reason for the bulge actually has to do with the fact the Earth is spinning, and there's an outward propellant force that goes faster than at the poles. You understand that, right? That's why Mars is also an oblique spheroid, just like the Earth. Although the Earth is more pronounced because we have oceans that top things off, and a moon that sits in orbit, a giant moon that tugs on the Earth's surface. These factors all contribute to exactly how much gravity you're going to be dealing with, and they all have to be properly considered when we're talking about how much actual force is being exerted at any given time on an object at or near the Earth's surface. I mean, 6,000 meters may not seem like all that much difference in terms of, or 6,000 feet might not seem like that much difference in terms of height, but we're talking about, you know, pyroclastic rock. This is like straight out of the magma, and it starts off being very hot, so it's very, very spongy. But over time, the mountain accretes mass, and then it gets weighed down upon. And those mountains in Hawaii, which they cite, have been sitting there for thousands and thousands of years. In fact, if you take a look at a comparison between the amount of surface area of the shelf upon which Hawaii sits and how far below the ocean it goes kilometers down. Now, you're not going to get that kind of an effect without there being considerable mass accreting over time, which gives you visible land mass in the middle of the ocean at the surface. But there are many kilometers, both wide and down, worth of matter to be thought of in terms of determining exactly how much. Don't forget, water is not as dense as any matter, not even magma rock or pyroclastic rock. Water is way less dense. So you can't just equate all the water in the ocean somehow with the island of Hawaii and say that the island of Hawaii doesn't factor into it and doesn't make any impact on how much downward force an object feels at 6,200 feet. It definitely does. And it's definitely noteworthy, and it definitely matters. So it's not just a straightforward thing as it may sound. Mass always exerts gravity. It is a fundamental property of the universe, and it is significant where that particular example is concerned.
Dude, you really need to learn when somebody's jerking your chain.
As you have been?
Yep.
Well, okay.
I don't know jack shit when it comes to gravity because I'm not an astrophysicist and I don't plan to ever figure it out.
You don't have to be. It's not that complicated, but it is.
No, but it's nothing I want to know about.
You can understand.
All I know is
you can
when I dropped that fucking hammer on my foot, it hurt like hell.
Yeah. Well, you may have been jerking my chain, but I was making a fairly simple point, I thought. But anyway, okay, whatever, sorry.
It's quite easy to get you all riled up on a topic.
I wasn't riled at all. I was being argumentative, but argumentative in my mind doesn't equal riled.
I didn't say riled.
What do you mean?
The point is I got you going on a topic with very little effort.
Oh yeah, you can do that. You're not the first.
No, you just need to learn to realize when people are messing with you.
That's not as easy as it sounds for some of us. I've never been good with people.
I've noticed.
people are unbelievably complicated and very, very nuanced, and oh, and did I mention my psychology teacher harped endlessly about his name being mispronounced? Like, he'd begin a lecture with, "My name is Professor Nemi, not Naimi, not Nemi, Niemi." Freaking Icelander that was, like, preoccupied with how people pronounced his name. He took it as a personal insult if he pronounced it wrong.
It is a personal insult if someone pronounces your name wrong.
Not if it's out of ignorance, it's not.
Well, even if it's out of ignorance, it's still insulting. Especially if you've corrected the person and you've pronounced it to them properly, and then they continue, it's no longer ignorance.
Oh, absolutely. I can understand that, but why harp about it?
Ignorance is fine, but when it becomes arrogance and somebody just doing it just being an asshole, no, then it becomes insulting.
Yeah.
I've been there many times with people pronouncing my
got your name wrong
intentionally. It's extremely irritating, and it is very insulting.
Yeah, when it's done deliberately. I can
Names have a meaning, and when you mispronounce a name, you change the meanings of the name.
Yeah, that I understand. I just couldn't understand why this guy kept harping about it all the time.
Yeah, because it's a sign of disrespect as well.
Well, he was also implying that that those of us who actually attended his class on a regular basis were somehow slower than the other 200 people that he mistakenly invited to take his lectures. The class size, first of all, was my first objection anyway. It was like 320 people or something ridiculous. Like, you can't teach anyone to a classroom full of 320 people, not at intro level, not in an undergrad program. But I suppose that's not entirely his fault, but he could have opted for a smaller class size if he'd wanted to. But no. Oh, and the other thing that he did that annoyed the hell out of me is he's a psychology professor who believes that psychology is a science. Well, if it's a science, then what's it doing in the Faculty of Arts? It doesn't mean the statement isn't true, but it does mean it is somewhat subjective.
Is medicine considered an art or a science?
It's in the Faculty of Medicine. It's considered both, actually. It's its own faculty, but it starts off, your undergrad program for medicine is in sciences.
And doctors then have a scientific background, but they're continuously practicing.
Yeah, they have to continuously.
Last time I checked, artists and athletes practice nonstop.
They have to.
So you're saying a doctor is an athlete or an artist?
No, I'm saying they practice.
There's where psychology comes into play.
You can no, I don't have, and I don't have a problem with the I don't have a problem with psychology as a practice. I have a problem with you saying to me psychology is, as this prof did, psychology is a science, even though it relies on statistical and anecdotal pattern-based data to try to make its assertions.
That would be science.
Science? No. Science does not use... Science is empirical, not subjective. He's using subjective statistical data to show a point. In science, we use empirical data. There's a difference between the two.
Not really. Data is data.
No, it's not. Data is...
Yes,
Data is... It's important to keep data in context. Well, you should know this. You live
in... character in Star Trek series.
You have to keep data in context, otherwise you end up taking data out of context and misapplying it.
Good night. Love you.
Did I scan this? I'm not sure. If I scanned the system, I'm all riled up. There we go.
I'm tired of only being able to get 24 units of fucking lobby and brandy out of the station.
That drove me. I know. It drove me crazy yesterday when I could only get 30 units of that drug I was peddling around the galaxy. The Delta Pavonis ear grubs. Who the hell wants an ear grub? Like, what do you do with this drug? You put it in your ear?
You take this little insect, you shove it in your ear, and it secretes slime that your ear canal absorbs and goes straight to the brain and gives you an exhilarating feeling or something, I suppose.
I suppose. I'm not doing
Erotic
it.
sensation.
Erotic or neurotic?
All you have to do is get some slime, pour it in your ear, and you'll have a very erotic sensation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I eat fermented seafood. Once it really starts to turn and stink from the decay. Wait.
Which seafood is this you're eating that's fermented?
Well, take your pick. How about salmon? No, actually, let's take something a little bit more. Ooh, rancid escargot.
Oh, I'm not too fond of most seafood, so.
No. I'm not even sure what the hell is the big deal about escargot. And technically, James Bond was making another inaccuracy. He called it beluga caviar. Beluga is a whale, right?
Beluga caviar comes from a beluga sturgeon.
Ah, a sturgeon. Okay. I thought he was referring to the whale.
Beluga sturgeon is a sturgeon that is native to Russia, I believe.
Yeah, Caspian Sea, actually. And I should have known that but I thought it was some.
It's a freshwater fish.
I thought it was a freshwater whale, but no.
Whales are mammals. Sturgeon are a fish. We've got a couple of species of sturgeon that are native to North America. They just don't get nearly as big.
What did the Russians do to their fish that they became all like mutated and large?
They just happen to have some of the largest, deepest lakes in the world.
Oh.
Just like North America, we've got some of the largest mammals in the world. We've got some of the largest bear, deer,
moose.
I mean, we've got some of the largest mammals on the planet.
Yeah. I know. And now they're going to resurrect the
population of wild wolves.
And now they're going to resurrect the woolly mammoth.
Nah, they won't be able to. They don't have enough of a DNA profile to actually accomplish it without splicing in other species of animals, which at that point in time it's a hybrid. It's not a.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's genetic.
Not a pure animal anymore.
It's a genetically edited creature, but using pachyderms, they think they might be able to resurrect most of the genome from the woolly mammoth, creating a 21st century woolly mammoth. But
won't do any good.
No, it certainly won't. And if you put woolly mammoths back on the Earth, what the hell? Their habitat is gone. Like,
you need the fucking dire wolf and the saber-toothed lion to keep their numbers under control.
All that, and I mean, mankind could do that, but I mean, you'd have to create this artificial sort of habitat for them.
We'll just put them in Canada.
That's where they want to put them, yes, in Alberta. Next
problem solved.
Next,
there's not a lot of people in Canada.
Yeah. Well, we'll do what we did with the buffalo. We'll just run train rides out across the prairie, and you can shoot them from your window of your car with guns provided by the train company.
Well, we're not allowed to shoot from moving vehicles anymore, but I guess you want to do that in Canada, you can.
Well, we can make up whatever laws we want.
You're going to need one hell of a big rifle to take down a woolly mammoth, though.
Well, especially given the woolly mammoth can derail a train, I'm pretty sure. You definitely do want to have a cannon. available.
I don't think any woolly mammoth is going to derail any train anytime soon.
I don't know. Better bring out the long nines just in case.
They're not that damn big. They're about a third bigger than a African elephant.
I've seen illustrations where they show people next to them. I thought they were like at least 30% taller than elephants at the shoulder.
I just said a third. That's like a third is 33.3.
Oh. Sorry, there was a train. There was a train going by. I couldn't hear what you said.
The train is distracting you?
What?
The train is distracting you.
Yes, especially the train in orbit around this planet. It's not really supposed to be here. It says Orient Express on the side. Is that important?
Possibly.
Why is the Orient Express near this space station? Gautier de Varennes dock. In the BD-19 3629A system.
Damn it, it won't let me engage hyperdrive from inside the star base. Damn.
That would be awesome. All this crap just goes wrong inside the starbase after you leave.
Turns the whole starbase inside out.
Well, certainly it would be pretty upside down, yeah.
You blast through the mail slot at about 400 meters a second with a big ship. Like a cutter is always interesting.
Yeah, well, imagine going 50 times the speed of light through that little mail slot. By the way, I was watching a movie the other night. Do Americans have missiles that go into caves through the front door and then wander down the cave and blow shit up?
What?
Yeah, like they shot a missile from a helicopter, right? The missile goes into the front of the cave. They're like in Afghanistan or something.
This is Hollywood?
Yeah, this is Hollywood.
This is Hollywood. Hollywood is fake.
I know it's a fake.
From time to time, that 98% of the shit that Hollywood comes up with is pure fiction.
I just didn't understand how the hell they got a missile to like wander down this, rather convoluted cave structure to blow up inside the cave. We created a hell of a lot of havoc inside the cave, absolutely, but this is what the whole point of bunker buster bombs were, I thought.
Here's the problem with people watching too much TV. They see stupid shit like that and they think it's real.
Well, I was just wondering. I didn't think it was real,
Okay.
but...
If you take a gun in Hollywood and you shoot somebody at point blank, they're going to fly 8 to 12 feet backwards and fall on the ground completely dead, right? Do you realize in the real
Not
world that's fucking fake?
necessarily, no. I don't think so.
You could take a shotgun, you could shoot somebody point blank, and they will not fly across
No,
the
they
room.
won't, yeah.
That has been scientifically proven when people wouldn't get shot with fucking rock salt
Yeah.
out of a shotgun.
No,
You don't go flying across the room, you just hurt like fucking hell.
you can certainly hit someone. There are rounds that will hit you hard enough to knock you to the ground from distance, but I'm not sure that...
That would have to be something that have to be like a 4-inch diameter round. At that point in time,
like a
it turns you
baseball.
inside out and plays you like a fish. the military has 500 caliber rifle rounds that will penetrate a 1-foot thick brick wall and will not. And it's an incendiary round that will detonate and explode once it penetrates this wall. You shoot a 500 caliber gun at an animal, it's going to leave a big hole in them, but it ain't going to throw them across the...
Oh, no, they won't go careening across the forest. But they do need effects to sell these movies, so they say. Of course, if you want to throw someone across anywhere, why not just blow up something close to them? That usually does throw people around. Or if you hit them with like a truck or something. Although I myself have never driven a truck into anyone. There was recently
vehicles that have come to a complete stop in a short span of time.
there was an incident in Toronto recently, earlier this year, where someone decided to mow down a bunch of people on the sidewalk, and the way they did it is they took a U-Haul delivery vehicle or some kind of delivery vehicle and just went on the sidewalk and were knocking people left, right, and center. And the description that bystanders gave often was they just threw them, you know. But that's a vehicle hitting them, not a bullet.
A bullet will penetrate a body.
Yes.
And theoretically pass through unless it hits enough hard objects. The human body is excessively soft and mushy.
And the vehicle?
Excessively not soft and mushy.
No, I know that, but if you hit the human body with the vehicle, you would expect it to go flying because it's not going to pass through nicely like a bullet.
No, I'd expect the person to go splat across the front of the vehicle at the very worst. At the very best, the human body's going to bounce like a bouncy ball off that vehicle and get flung out of the way.
Either way, the person's hurt. There's injury is the inevitable result. The inevitable outcome. As was reported.
Sounds to me like somebody didn't realize they weren't playing Grand Theft Auto.
Well, they were arrested. And I think that they're
in Grand Theft Auto, you just get shot dead right there on the spot, then you resurrect back on the other side of the map. So
there were many people that felt that way about this particular individual who was not right in the head, I don't think. But then again, if he's not right in the head, then shooting him isn't going to achieve anything.
No, it'll prevent him from ever doing that again.
So will arresting him.
Until he falls through the cracks and is freed on his own recognizance.
That won't happen. A minister can sign a certificate here and they can lock you up and throw away the key.
It sounds real humane.
Sometimes it's necessary that you have to be institutionalized for the safety of the public. This doesn't happen very often, but like I said, if there's a cabinet minister's signature on it, it can be required. The minister's job is to review such cases in detail and get a recommendation from his aides and his advisors, and then make her aides and her advisors and make a decision in the interest of fundamental justice as per the Constitution. There are countries where that does work, by the way. Strangely enough, Singapore, which at best is a partial democracy, seems to have a largely supportive population, which is very friendly to the idea of having an almost dictator in charge of the entire country, because the way that the dictator runs the country is basically sensible. It's not benevolent, but you know, there aren't widespread human rights violations either. They're just very, very powerful, and they can sentence people to jail. They usually tell you why. It's not done in secret, usually. There are cases where it might be deemed necessary, and if it is, well, they exercise that right, I suppose. But as I said, the populace seems to be widely supportive so far. It could be out of ignorance, or it could be because the government system they have actually works better than the one we do.
It requires a different mindset.
Perhaps. I don't think you can run a nation state like you could run a tribe. It's a bit more complicated, but the ideal human human political interaction is tribe members and a tribal chieftain who is, well, not the ideal, but the original model, who protects and takes charge and takes responsibility for the welfare of the tribe overall. And that worked for thousands and thousands of years, more or less.
The tribe got too big for one person to control.
Well, this is why we have nations now, isn't it? We need more complex structures to help manage power better, but back before communication was so easy, you couldn't really reach out that far. And the tribe would never get very large because there'd always be a famine, a sickness, or a neighboring tribe would come along and kill off enough of your numbers that you'd be culled periodically. Something bad would happen at any rate. There were always limits. You realize that our species' worst, we were down to 625 birth-giving pairs of men and women? That happened just under 20,000 years ago, apparently, according to genetic history.
Okay, if they really think so.
Well, they know so because they've done an analysis of the human genome. It was mapped, as you know, several years ago. And so by drawing on comparisons of all gene types that currently exist in humanity, we've got over 8 billion people, but all of whom can trace their origins back to the same pair of same groups of 625 parental units. And by counting the number of generations, they can provide an estimate as to how long ago that was. Oh, and telomeres, of course. There's a certain amount of cellular biology that can tell you how long things took to unfold. So I am told. Unlike the internet, television always tells the truth. Cancel. I need to get this map from here. Map. And this map says this base is allied. It is a refinery, an agriculture base.
I'll be back shortly.
Alright then. We may come back shortly. Ooh.
I'm back.
And you are?
Excessively erotic.
Oh my god.
If you don't want to know, don't ask.
No. No, I really don't. Sulfur dioxide. More
It's
sulfur
slightly
dioxide.
poisonous.
Yeah, well, there's two worlds here that have very thick atmospheres with that sulfur crap in it. Let's see here. Well, this one actually has almost no atmosphere at all, but that'll kill us too, and so does this one. But there is still a very thin atmosphere made of sulfur dioxide, so... And this one is 0.12 atmosphere.
Poisonous to humans.
Yes.
Sounds like a wonderful vacation destination.
This one is an ammonia planet with high metal content. But the Thargoids won't find it very attractive. It only has 0.01 atmospheres, and they like to have lots and lots of atmosphere. And this one is another high metal content with a 78.8% nitrogen, 21.2% carbon dioxide, and 0.2 sulfur dioxide.
When are we going to be able to land there and do some mining?
Never. It's 0.71 G. Surface temperature is 30 degrees Kelvin. Sorry, 30 degrees above... is that right? 244 Kelvin. So, oh, sorry, it's minus 30 Celsius on the surface at the equator.
Oh, that don't sound bad.
No, it sounds like Manitoba. Now. No, actually, it's quite a bit warmer there now at the moment. And,
Winter time.
Oh, it gets very
Sounds
hot.
like winter time.
Yes, in winter. As you know from living on the prairies, it gets extremely hot in the summer and extremely cold in the winter.
Yep.
Oh, it's the Jet Gamora again. They're running the system. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll go here first to say hello to the Jet Gamora. Is there anything you'd like to say to the Jet Gamora?
In the pink one and the stink.
Here's what we'll do. We have 118 units taken up in our inventory. So for now, we will put that thing away, and we'll get out the Anaconda. From the shipyard. Oh my god, there we go.
Advise that all commanders be aware of their speed while in and around the starport.
Use this ship.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Yay! We're back in the Anaconda again. And ready to do our mission. Our mission, whether or not we want to do it, is to rescue the 4 missing escape pods from the planet's surface. There's just one problem. The planet's surface...
The Aboriginals have blow darts that really hurt till they impregnate your ass.
No. The dominant species is a form of Triceratops reptilian, native to Earth about 200 million years ago.
That stands 7 inches tall.
Yes, 7 inches tall, which means it will crawl up your ass and tell you to get a life. That might happen anyway, actually.
If it crawls up my ass, I better enjoy it.
Well, it won't be me.
Better caress softly.
I wouldn't count on that from a late Devonian reptilian, native to Earth 200 million years ago, even if it is 7 inches high. It's spherical but pointy in places. You won't like the pointy in places. I really hope we're disgusting people with all this talk right now.
You've probably got some juvenile 8 to 12-year-olds listening and giggling like little schoolgirls.
Oh, that's what I was doing, but it was inside my head. Now you've given it away. Okay. And now...
Well, the truth hurts. Not my fault.
I know. Okay, so there's a Cobra Mark III. Oh, did I tell you I bought a Viper?
Yeah, you did. I think you're nuts.
Well, it's only just so that I have something to ferry stolen goods in. There won't be very many of them, so cargo capacity of 18 should be good enough. And that's what it has. It does go fast, and it has, of course, the prismatic class 4 shields, so it's pretty tough for a Viper.
Sounds like a waste of 3.5 million credits.
10, by the time all the upgrades are finished. Okay, and now go to different. Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay, so we have a target.
Nightingale retracted.
Okay, why is the targeting system not working for navigation? I don't get it.
You forgot to point and click.
No, there's a big orange pylon there. It says I did point and click correctly. Read doc. Okay, so let's take a look at this then. Row it. Prisoner. Read doc. Okay. Lock and super cruise, please. And 0, boom! Aha! Didn't expect this ship to come crawling out of there, did you? And now we're going to nuke redock from orbit. Oh wait, it's not in, it's already in orbit. Well, we'll nuke it from within orbit then. Hang on to your coffee mugs. This is gonna be bumpy.
Yay, I now have access.
Are you still in the lave system? Listening to lave radio? Spike is still in Cambila. And Senor Speedy Gonzalez is in Guadalajara. Of course, the real question here is, why does his first name be Speedy when that's not Spanish? 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. There we go.
Thermal resistant shield booster. No. How much heavy duty shield boosters? That would work.
So, are you in the Lave system? Where are you? Leasty.
No.
Leasty!
I'm talking to Dee Dee Potterman.
Edie Potterman in Leasty. Cleared for landing on docking bay 2-4. Acknowledged.
Flight assist on.
Automated docking approved. You may now hand over control.
We are docking the ship. Space doors are open. Still. And the force field is out. Have you noticed that even the starports that the Thargoids bomb the hell out of, they have working space door force fields? I guess they're kind of important. You mustn't have the station's atmosphere bleed off into space all at once, but if it was just attacked by an alien threat, one might think a power failure might occur and that the force fields might go down at some point.
Touchdown confirmed. Clear to disembark. Report to station services for more information, Commander.
Need more grid resistors.
The entire galaxy has a shortage of grid resistors. This is the result of everyone needing them at exactly the same time for the same reasons. What the hell is wrong with this system?
You're there?
Well, this is pissing me off. Ah! Okay. Lithium hydroxide, please. I would like to access... No. Minerals, bromellite, methanol monohydrate. Okay. I see one place near you where I can go to drop this. It's in the Leasty system.
Oh, great, now I'm leaving.
Well, I'm coming to the Leasty system because it's the nearest point at which I have access to.
What'd you do now, Spike?
Kolmogorov Hub. Yay! That's George Lucas, Kolmogorov Hub.
Good to hear, Spike.
No. No, 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 no. That's an import.
Better give that cat a cookie for learning a new trick.
Ethanol monohydrate. Well, some of them make sense, others do not. 2140, no, no, no. No. Samarium, catalyst and chemical reagent. Let's try that one.
Aspirin orbital. Hell of a name.
Ried Quat. Ooh, there's some nice prices here.
Japanese anime.
Go. Lavasi Dock, yes. Check the other commodities. Ah, you dizzy cunt. Come here, you fucker.
If you talk to everybody like that, no wonder.
There are no prices for this. Sumerian.
Dude, I'm not even out of the gravitational field of the planet and you're trying to fucking interdict me? You're not gonna get nowhere.
Okay, fuck, whatever. System map. No, fuck off.
Fertilance.
Oh, look, asshole. Okay, this map is either lying or it's completely contradictory. Now, I have not been to these worlds in quite a long time.
Ship released. Watch for oncoming traffic when passing through the airlock.
Landing gear retracted.
No. Not even close.
You got your shot cannons?
No. It was a big waste of time. I won't be doing mining again for anything more than entertaining myself at any point in the near future. There are too many bugs with it. It still doesn't work. Still, the most reliable means of generating income is seeking profit from the commodities. Delivery of commodities is the only way to go. Since when is Reed Quad a Federation base? I thought this is an alliance system and has been since Christ was a child.
It all depends on what alignment the minor faction is with.
Access granted. Make your way to landing pad number 02. You are go for automated docking. Enjoy the ride, Commander.
Yeah, as for Spike getting shot cannons 10 times by now, I don't see how. You still need to get rhenium in order to do it, and you need resources to convert into rhenium. If you don't have that, you're not getting shot cannons. It doesn't matter how many times you think you could have done it by. I'm not at all confused. I'm also not just using text to try to make the point with text messaging, though I understand why. But it's been an extremely frustrating experience all around, and don't think that it just because you have a horseshoe up your ass and can find resources on demand that everyone else can. Doesn't work like that. What the hell is going on here? It has nothing to do with you offering to help me. That's completely beside the point. If you weren't here to help, what would I do? And you said you could do it 10 times by now. Well, presumably that's not with help. If you had help, you could do it 100 times by now. So could I. So could anyone else. What's the point? Well, it is all free money. This kind of pisses me off that every fucking system I take this shit to, it just seems to not add up to being as profitable as it should be. Okay, fine. Fuck you and your bromlite. take your 14 lithium hydroxyls and shove them up your ass sideways. I'm not spending the frickin' months looking for a base to dump all this crap at. Well, I've been to every type of system that there is. Boom economies, refineries, extraction, non-extraction, colony, high-tech, you name it. And every single system I go to, everything is sub-galactic average. So at some point, you just got to throw your hands up and say, okay, well, I'm just going to sell this shit and move on to the next thing. Oh, the samarium price is really good, though. 81,000 for 10. That's good. Can't complain about that. Okay. But I'm not crisscrossing the galaxy looking for this shit. 79 limpets. No, we have a mission. I have to go back to the Delcar system. Two jumps. Where are you? What are you doing? Squaddle, what are you doing in Leasty?
I am heading to CD 349020.
For?
Material trader there.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Sorry, Spike, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Detach confirmed. You are go for departure.
Landing gear retracted.
And after this mission, whatever it turns out to be is done, I think I'm logging for the night. I've got some things I have to do in advance of tomorrow, it being Monday and everything.
Frameshift drive charging.
Clear of the exclusion zone. Till next time, Commander.
Anamundi. Where in the hell is that? Anamundi. Force laid in. Details on planet: 80% rock, 20% metal. No atmosphere, no volcanism. It is... oh, minus 200 and something degrees Celsius at the equator. Anamundi is a moon in orbit of Savo, a habitable world in the system. Looks like Savo might be a pleasure planet. It's full of water, cruise ship, tourists, and the like. Starbase Invergary orbits high above. gliding into position. Investigating crash site with fighter. Well, that's kind of dumb. You can't investigate the crash site with the fighter. It seems it's not equipped with the appropriate equipment.
Telepresence control taken. She's in my hands, Commander.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
Oh God, now you're gonna start singing the religious songs?
Is that what that is?
Is that like torture or what?
Like torture? No, it is torture.
Oh. Good thing I got mute.
If it's like torture, it usually is torture.
Need hybrid capacitors now.
Back. Orders, dock, recall the fighter.
Commencing recovery, Commander. Stand by.
It has heatsink. These things don't have any sensors, so you can't even, like... you can't find anything on the surface of a planet with them. They're only good for fighting.
Copy that. I'll hold the fort, Commander. Initiating fighter recovery. You are go for approach, Commander.
I did find something on the ground. Hang on.
tasty.
There it is. I found it. Visually, I might add.
You have entered the trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared.
Well, the ship wants me to dock. I guess I better do that and then land the ship.
Fighter docking sequence initiated.
Retrieval complete. Fighter bay is secure.
Oh, apparently that's not the crash site. This apparently is the crash site. There is an occupied escape pod here.
Got occupied escape pods full of sex slaves.
Well, hopefully, that is the idea.
Gear deployed.
And we're also hoping that there is cocaine available.
The unoccupied pods have the cocaine in them.
Oh. Well, maybe there's,
Smuggling hookers and drugs.
maybe there are some unoccupied pods alongside the occupied pods.
There's either drugs and alcohol in them, so.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go over here. Okay. we have to turn on the module in question, which is the planetary vehicle hangar. It is ready.
Gravity warning. Cargo suit deployed.
Okay, well there's some broken equipment around here and a damaged SRV. And a landmine next to a pod. Oh no!
What's the landmine?
Well,
Put it in the cargo hold.
there's another occupied pod
Jump on
here.
it!
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
One of the pods is occupied with cocaine, kept at room temperature, so that's good news.
You're supposed to freeze it. You freeze your assets. What the hell? What are people learning nowadays?
I don't think the cocaine really cares what temperature it's stored at.
Put it in a Ziploc bag and you freeze it. Maybe the drug sniffing dogs won't find it.
Maybe. That's normally why you saturate your packaging around the drugs with toxins that are fatal to canines.
No, it's just mean. It's not the dog's fault. Don't
No,
harm
but
the dog. No animals are to be allowed in the production of our stupidity. When the hell are you gonna learn that?
whoa, whoa, I fell. Transfer the cargo.
By
One,
performance enhancers,
two.
does that mean Viagra?
Yes. In fact, it only means Viagra. What other kind of performance enhancement do you require?
That's the only one I need. I ain't running no fucking marathon. Fast for that shit.
That's actually the cocaine. It's a stimulant.
I don't need to lose weight.
That's
I
not
lose
what.
weight,
That's
I
not
won't be
all
fat and
its.
out of shape no more.
That's not all its stimulants do. And
I'm gonna go find a restroom. I'll do that.
okay.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Oh no, I've fallen and I can't get up. Ah. There we go. I fell over.
Ah, fuck.
But I fell over.
We fell over. That's not my fault.
Handbrake is on.
No, it's not your fault.
Shouldn't have been leaning back that far when you're trying to beat off. You're bound to
Yeah.
fall over backwards and hurt yourself.
Okay, well, there's a couple of other points of interest in this vicinity, which I'm going to investigate briefly.
Is there a ham
let's
salad sandwich
see.
anywhere nearby?
I don't know. One of them looked like a diner, actually, so I'm just going to go. Oh! My rocket's fired. Another occupied escape pod. That makes a total of 6.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Spike is... something's wrong with his shields. I think he's being shot at or something.
I think he's playing with lethargo.
Handbrake is on.
Oh, is he?
I think so. I could be completely wrong.
Transfer the cargo. The cocaine, the prostitutes, and everyone else. All into the cargo bay. Alright. Now we must find the diner.
Yeah.
Yes, the building
Wish I
over
had
here.
more niobium. Get away.
'Chassis integrity compromised.
Oh, I fell again.
Stop! When are you gonna learn?
And now I'm right side up. How far away is my ship? 1.13 kilometers, and there are some buildings here. So, Article 1 is a sentry skimmer, so there's a Stinger craft here. They explode. And there's some canisters there guarding in the middle of the courtyard.
Entered a trespass zone. Cargo hold at maximum capacity. Trespass zone cleared.
.51 kilometers. Okay. On the other side of the fuel bins for these buildings. I don't know where that diner-like structure went. Maybe it's on the other side of my ship. Oh, someone's shooting at my mothership. I think we have to make our brave escape. Bravely ran away, bravely ran away. When being too the truck we had to brave into the building first. Okay. We have jadeite and superconductors. And board the ship.
Mission critical message.
Okay. But where do we go now? Now, it wants us to report to Delcar, the Hodak prison colony. I didn't know Hodor ran a prison colony. Wait a minute. How did Hodor get off his planet? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Not really sure how this happened. Hodor? He's from Game of Thrones? How the hell did I end up here? Okay. I need you to show me Hodak prison colony, Delcar. It doesn't really... Oh, Invergary. Okay.
I got stupid high shield strength.
Yes, we know.
Oh, it's much higher now.
How could that possibly be?
I now have 5,048 shield strength.
What for? And how?
Because I can.
Oh, alright then.
Lots and lots of shield boosters and an 8A prismatic shield generator.
That'll do it. Okay, we need,
All highly modified.
Target acquired. Computer. Launch the ship.
Landing gear retracted.
Ah, there it is. It was on the other side of my ship. Okay, let's go over here and have a look at it and see what it is. It is a Cobra Mark III. It is leaving the area. It has left by a hyperspace jump. And now we are going down to the surface again to have a look at this thing. Seems to be some sort of mining facility.
Warning. You have entered a trespass zone.
Oh dear, it seems I've entered a trespass zone. Now I'm gonna be in big trouble. That cannon starts shooting at
Trespass
me.
zone cleared.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a mining facility. Okie dokie. And here we go.
Fusion drive charging. 4, 3,
Shit, I don't even have all my shield boosters turned on.
Do 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 more power.
Turn that freak. Well, that's already turning off when I go into combat. Turn the power distributor off. We don't need that when we're in the middle of a fight.
Oh, we're all going to die horribly. All right. And now we are making for a starport, the Invergary Port starport facility. See, now this is why I want a Coriolis space station dangling from my ceiling on a string, because the Octocube looks so cute, cool. Why are your shields down, a Squaddle?
Anytime you go into outfitting, it shuts the shields off. I don't know why. In case you decide to make changes or something, or maybe the shields being turned on don't allow the repair bots to come up and modify something. I don't know. Don't ask me.
Doesn't it take an eternity to spool up 5,000 shield points?
Not when you're inside the starbase.
Oh.
Basically, once you dock, it automatically recharges all your systems.
Well, that's good news, because, you know, out in space, that's not what's going to happen.
No.
The odds are, if you ever lose your shields, you'll never get them all back.
Well, I'm hoping to make it through one battle. That's all I need to do. But my goal is to see how stupid high I can get my shield. And just because I have excess have extra shield boosters running doesn't mean they all run during combat. I've got stupid high shields if I'm just flying around.
Mm-hmm.
When I actually go into combat, half of them shut down so that I can actually engage in the fight.
Like operate your weapons.
Yep.
They can be important in a fight, yes.
Well, that's just it. If I decide to run from a fight, I can take a hell of a beating before they can do any damage. If I'm going to be fighting back, well, then at that point in time, I don't need as many shields because I pay more attention to killing them as fast as possible.
Unless there's 8 anacondas with class 4 plasma cannons hitting you again and again and again.
I don't have class 4 plasma cannons hitting me again and again and again.
No, but hypothetically. Okay. Plus, I don't know if you've noticed, but on the Farragut, if they're updating the Farragut to fight the Thargoids, according to what I've observed in Beta Hydri at the shipyards, it could be that the Farragut is going to be getting something above a class 4 cannon.
They've already got above class 4 cannons, don't they?
Not that I've seen. Not in the specs, and not in the blueprints. But it looks as if there's something much larger than a class 4 cannon going onto the top deck of just ahead of the bridge, but below it. Oh, something else I should mention. I did take a look at the organization of the Senate House. I found an article about how the Senate is organized, and it is actually diagrammable, so I've created a draft diagram, and I just have to put it into Visio and publish it. So the Empire will be my next target.
My next target is going to be my pillow.
Yeah, well, obviously. Yeah. Okay, starport services. We have to turn in our transaction back mission. How much do we get for this mission? 6 occupied escape pods worth just 283,809 credits, but we get extra reputation, extra influence with one of the factions back in the CD23 system. Not enough. But it did improve our relationship with the prison colony. In case we ever find ourselves in the detention area.
So you're making friends with all the inmates.
More like the guards, whom I'm going to bribe. But yes.
Just whatever you do, don't drop the soap.
No. Unless, of course, I really want to.
No. If that's the way you swing, then have at it.
Oh, it can be very disgusting in jail. Once you haven't swung around for 20 years or so, I think your standards kind of get eroded. You do what's called settling.
Oh, I guess if that's the best you can do.
Oh, 1,000,000 credits.
You're either a top or a bottom. There's not much in between.
There's both. At the same time. Ooh. Scary thought for scary people. Unless, as you say, they're into that. Just remember, always make friends with Beardy.
Making friends with a bearded woman?
Beardy. There's always someone named Beardy. That's interesting. Okay, on that dubious note, we're going to leave the evening to you. Spike, Squatter, have yourselves a good night.
Good night.
Take care. And as for the rest of the watching public, don't forget to check out the video properties for access to the Twitter site and, of course, Commander Trium's blog. Associated with this video, where you'll get a chronological listing of videos that have been produced. You can also check the YouTube library associated with this video, and of course all the videos generated by Commander Trium's video flight logging system have been indexed here too. To access the other two sites, just click the More button next to where you would normally read the properties, and it will drop down the remainder of the information. Please click I like or subscribe, as the case may be, as suits your preference. And of course, if you're interested in getting ongoing advisories concerning production of the video, click the bell icon to the right of the subscribe button in the YouTube standard interface. At 4:18, 24 Zulu, 18 June, 3304 at Invergary in the Delcar system. This is Commander Trium signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Fly safe.